that intro.
Beautiful.
Welcome back to the Winged Badger Tavern, where friends tell stories. I'm Josh, your Winged Badger Game Master. I'm joined by some of my friends. Friends, let's introduce yourselves. Go around the table. You know what? Let's switch it up. Let's go this way around the table.
My name is Mike. I play Mark Putty. Right now, an emotional wreck. He is a clumsy adept who talks to the system.
Hello, I'm Cleo, and I'm playing Error.
Ooh.
Error.
You suck.
That stings. For you.
What's happening? I'm Tyler, aka T-Sav. I'm playing Ronan Voss, who is a tongue-tied explorer who also sailed beneath the Jolly Roger.
Hello, I am Trevor. I'm playing Astro and a lucky explorer who works for a living.
Amazing. And I'm Josh, the Winged Badger Game Master. I play everybody else. Without further ado, let's jump back into tonight's adventure at the Winged Badger Tavern.
Yay.
And to do that, we're going to pick up right where we left off. And by right where I left off, I mean we're going to be in the Arboretum, where Mark Putty, your head is in your hands. You are feeling a strong level of devastation. You received an encoded message, or an encrypted message, I should say, from JAQLINE, the ship's AI, who unfortunately did not make it through the Cosmeridium crossing. Hardly anybody on the ship even knows that yet. But she left you a specific message that we heard in the last session, and you're kind of reeling from that. And as you were starting to cry, Kaya, the ship's botanist, walked over and didn't say anything, but is just standing with you, one hand on your shoulder, kind of in that moment with you there. Let's zoom back in on this moment here. As everything around you is happening, and in fact, there's an alarm going off in the distance for some other department about something that's not your problem. What are you up to?
Mark is digesting the weight of the news he was just given. The one person that he's started to try and really connect with has just left, and give him a very important message that I don't think he realized he needed to hear. He's feeling very lost. He spent a lot of his life not really reaching out to folks, not being very in touch with himself, and he's wondering if it was a mistake to try and open up again, because this is part of the reason why he hasn't. Is because just bad things can happen. People leave and you get hurt. But he's feeling a tiny bit of hope and encouragement through all the disaster that he's experiencing inside. The little bit of encouragement that JAQLINE left him with, and the knowledge that she knew that he was not initially supposed to be on this ship, and even throughout that, still let him be there somehow, even if he can't see it himself. She saw something inside of him, and he's trying to feel like he can get in touch with that and see it for himself, but he's still just absolutely crushed and just silently sobbing while Kaya holds him in this place surrounded by the beauty of the fully new unknown that they've just come to be in.
As you're kind of sitting there, reckoning with that, a minute goes by, complete silence. Kaya's just got that one hand reassuringly on your shoulder. And then you feel Kaya start to lift up her hand like she's leaving. Then you realize she's not lifting up her hand. She's beginning to float, as are you, as artificial gravity on the ship begins to fail. And that distant alarm starts to blare louder and louder. Astro Adon, you are in the reactor room with Chief Engineer Zarlo and Ensign Engineer Kyle Smith. You suddenly get a communication from the bridge that says, artificial gravity is failing. Engineering, can you take a look at that? And Zara looks at you and just goes, go.
I will go and then look at it.
Great. I want you to make a speed task level 2. You're navigating in 0G now.
Let's do it. I got a 7.
That's a success. You kind of swoop yourself through the ship, kind of floating, and by now you are fully weightless. As the gravity has kind of failed on the ship. It's also like the lights are starting to go a little bit dimmer, and like everything, climate control is starting to fail. It's getting cold. It's not like the ship is depressurizing or anything, but in the aftermath of this Cosmeridium crossing, one of the things that had to happen is life support was disabled to prevent it from being fried. And so someone's got to go turn it back on. And when you get there, you realize exactly what happened. It's completely disconnected from the reactors of the ship. There's no power at all to it. And it looks like it was done on the software side, which takes it out of your hands and puts it in the hands of Mark Putty. So you've got to go find him. You can't even communicate with him because as life support is going down, you're losing access to all of those little inter-room communications. That's something life support manages, not the comms chamber. So you've got to go track him down. Where would Astro look for him first?
The server room where his office is.
Okay, great. So you're going to head towards the server room, and because the Arboretum is on the way, I'm not going to make you roll to find him. You continue navigating in 0G, and you arrive to see Mark is now kind of like hanging onto a tree branch a little bit. Not of his own will. He looks almost catatonic. He's got Kaya is no longer reassuringly holding his shoulder. She's now holding like the neck of his shirt so he doesn't float away. And then her knees are wrapped around the branch of a tree. Like, so she's kind of holding him down instead of up. Her like red hair kind of, curling up away from her. And she looks down at you and goes, "Can you turn that back on? It's a bit difficult to hold all this together."
I actually need Mark to help to do that. And
Did I have a minute?
Astro's gonna pull out a tape measure off his tool belt. Since we're in 0G, it shouldn't hold a lot of weight.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. She pulls you down a little bit towards the tape measure, but before she like lets go of you, she just whispers in your ear, "It's gonna be okay." And she lets go.
Thank you, Kaya. You just see the kind of tears pulling in the nice little balls that happen in zero gravity. And like, what do we need to do, Astro? What do we need?
This like heartfelt thank you, Kaya, as he's away on the tape measure, back down to ground level.
There's something wrong on the software end of the life support systems that we need repaired.
Okay, I'll find a terminal. Do you have sorry, I'm a little scrambled. What do you need exactly? I can get in there.
It's locked out, cut off from the reactors via software. I don't know.
Okay, great.
I'm a hardware man.
That's fine. Yeah, I'll do what I can. And I think I just try and just wipe my tears away. They float away, and I go to wherever the nearest. If I need to go to a data sphere.
If you've got your data pad with you, then you can just jack in with that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of put myself just floating on the ceiling very sadly, and go through and take a inventory of what the heck is going on.
Sure. Can you make an intellect task with a difficulty of 4 for me?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's probably even a difficulty of 3. This is something Jackie did really fast.
10.
That easy. You switch it back on again, and all of a sudden gravity activates, and you hear, "What?" And Kaya like swoops down from where she was. She had her knees wrapped around a tree, but to hold her up. So she then like plummets downwards as it ends. She catches herself at the last second on like a branch or a twig, and it like bends really low where you think she's still gonna hit the ground. And then she's like, "Oh dear," and it springs back up again. It takes her a little while to steady herself. But you have solved the problem and your life support systems are activating. With all of that kind of sorted out and behind us, Captain Chet Gamma calls a meeting on the bridge for the whole crew, for everyone to just come up to deck 1 to like kind of the bridge conference area or the conference lounge. And on the way up there as the crew are assembling, I would love, Tyler, if you could give a recap for us and for the chat of the first couple sessions here. What's happened as we're leading up to this meeting?
Well, at least session 1. Not crazy, like a crazy amount of things went down, but we got to meet at least the characters here. We got to meet some more of the crew. We got to see some of the relationships that they already developed here and there. We had one big problem going through space, and that was having our reactor going up. So we had to get that fixed, and unfortunately, it did take a little bit to get fixed, and there was some complications for Mr. JB after
robotics engineer.
He is the one that unfortunately caused it, so he had to take one for the team, as to say, basically. It's from what it seems. Session 1, that's really at most what it was going into. It was mainly just a background and meeting everybody. Session 2, everything went wrong. Session 2, the next one, we had to get through the basically portal into the far end of space is the easiest way to explain it. But for you guys, for us, it was a 60-second or 10-second adventure.
10-second event.
But each second was a round for us. But all of us played at the same time. So with everyone saying things at the same time, last session was very chaotic. But we ended up making it through. We made it through. Everybody cheered. But unfortunately, not everybody made it through. And we did lose one of our main characters early on.
Rip JAQLINE.
JAQLINE shipboard AI unit was essentially fragmented, torn to bits in the crossing. And unfortunately, you all have no indication that anything other than an overload occurred and pulled Jackie apart. And, it was just too much dealing with all the stresses, overclocked processing at higher speeds than maybe she was designed to. There is an exception to that rule. One person has a little bit of knowledge that nobody else does. That would be Mark Putty. That was left to him in a kind of a private communication. In her dying breath, Jackie sent a message to Mark Putty and a message to Captain Chet Gamma. And so each of them has a better idea of the truth of what happened. And so for you, chat, the viewers, what we know as the observers happened is that there was a sort of like a second AI on the ship that was not authorized to be there, almost like a dark mirror of JAQLINE, our shipboard AI. And at first, it seemed like it was just tinkering with the sensors. But when Jackie tried to trace it and figure out where the interference was coming from, the AI became violent and actually destroyed her, pulled her processing routines apart, dove into her cortex, destroyed the things that made her work. And so that is how JAQLINE died. Though I'm sure the incredible stresses of processing through all of the things happening to the ship did not help her defend herself. So much of her runtime was devoted to protecting the crew. And so as we begin this adventure with Chet Gamma calling everyone to the bridge for, a meeting, we don't have a shipboard AI, at least as far as most of us know. You players are all headed towards the bridge. So most of you were together, I guess, or two of you were together. Mark, Kaya, Astro, the three of you cross from where you are in the Arboretum. You head into the mess hall and towards the ship's main elevator. Along the way, you pick up Ronan Voss. Ronan's been all over the place, but I believe we ended that session with you up near the dropship, patching a hole that had been ripped in the hull.
Just finished taking off my EVA gear.
Yep, so you just kind of stowed your EVA gear in that airlock, and then you head towards the elevator too. And so at first, it's just the three of you on the elevator. We'll pick up Ronan in a second here as we step in there. And it begins kind of humming upwards. Is there any conversation, or are we all just kind of standing around? Is it awkward silence? Is it what's going on?
I think Mark is definitely just staring off into space.
Astro's just going over checklists, making sure what he can account for is accounted for.
The door opens. Ronan Voss is standing there, along with Victor Meridia, the ship's surgeon.
Ronan's gonna nod and step in with everybody. Quick question. Do these elevators, are they completely sealed all around? Is there any viewing any viewing thing, any window at all?
I think that they're completely sealed, but they have displays that would view, that are there's a camera mounted to the elevator. So it's what you would actually see outside the ship. You know what I mean? So as the elevator goes up, it is an accurate view as if you were looking straight through the hull.
Okay. Then well, I guess the only thing he would say would just be, try to notice that it is a little tense situation, but he would try to,
Make sure you're talking to your mic for me.
He would try to lighten it up a little bit just by trying to get everyone's attention outside on the view. Isn't it beautiful? Trying to get everybody to just at least look at what they got themselves into, and that's not that bad, it seems.
Astro gives a hearty nod.
Mark looks out into space horrified.
The elevator picks up a handful of other crew members. At the last second on deck 2, the elevator doors open and Dean Lagrange and Talia Bones, the ship's compliance officer and security officer, step in. And just because of the way the elevator has shaped up, Ronan Voss, you are stuck standing next to Talia Bones as the door swings shut and begins moving up.
I was about to say, you probably went to the other side of the elevator when they walked in.
You probably moved over there to like avoid them, and then it just worked out that way where you got stuck there.
Yep.
And so now you have Talia Bones standing next to you. The elevator doesn't smell great. Like everyone has just been working incredibly hard and sprinting across the ship for a while. Mostly it's like awkwardly quiet, a couple of little whispered conversations between coworkers. You just have Talia Bones standing next to you. She is still, she's wearing EVA attire as well because she was suppressing fire. She didn't know if she was going to lose oxygen. She's just taken off the helmet. So there's like platinum blonde hair, pulled back into a ponytail, just like a very practical, like keep this out of my way. There's a huge scar down one side of her face, and you can see just the top edge of a tattoo that rings her neck, kind of poking out of the top of the suit where it would connect to her helmet. She's got, despite being in mostly full EVA gear, she has a cigarette in one hand that is not lit because out of courtesy to the rest of the crew, but she's just like chewing on it occasionally, like kind of, you know, almost like a fidget. She's standing next to you. She looks over. What?
I couldn't even get out of your EVA gear.
I was putting out the fire.
What is it out?
It is now.
How long did that take you?
Seconds.
I'm sure. I might have to go back and watch the footage. I don't believe you. He's gonna shake his head in disgust and kind of look the other way.
What is this hostility?
Hostility?
Yeah.
You're the one that said what to me first.
Yeah, you were staring.
I was looking around.
The elevator doors open at the deck 1 at the bridge, and everyone files out because of how you're awkwardly squished in next to Talia. You two are the last to leave the elevator as everyone else leaves. She looks over you and goes, "Lighten up," and then she walks out and kind of tucks the cigarette back into a little box or whatever and walks into the conference room.
As she does that, I don't say anything, but IVN's gonna kind of mock her. Lighten up. Like little droid's gonna mock her.
Amazing. You walk onto the bridge, and this conference room does have real windows. So they're huge, panes of reinforced glass stretching out into the distance. Outside of them, you can see the landscape, I guess, the cosmos, if you will. Landscape is not really the right word, but you can see space stretching off in every direction, including through the roof. There's like transparent panels above you. So you have like 180-degree view of space around you. The ship at this point is holding position as well as it can. There are a few things that will need longer term repairs, but like the stabilizers are trying to counteract your motion. And there's no sign of the portal, so to speak, that you came through. It's completely closed. The effect is gone. And you are now floating out here in deep space. And with you floating out here in deep space, Chet Gamma is going to kind of walk forward and address everyone. He starts off with, a round of congratulations. Well done, crew. This was a difficult moment. Everyone's gone through it. Yeah, there's a little bit of quiet applause. I didn't call you up here to congratulate you. I called you up here because we have a problem, and that problem is that our shipboard AI, JAQLINE, did not make it through the Cosmeridium event. Now, it's unclear at this time what exactly happened, but the end result is that we do not currently have an AI managing functions aboard this ship. So while at first I thought we were about to take 3 days of rest, some of us, and he looks over at the engineering team, are going to have to be working a little bit extra to manage these things, and we're going to support you with that rest later when we can. But right now, this ship's got a lot of systems that have taken a lot of damage, and I need you all to be working on it. Putty, are you able to restore any kind of copy of JAQLINE? Can you do some kind of forensics and see if you can figure out what happened to her?
Mark just kind of has to snap out of his kind of dissociation. It's like, I suppose I could. May I request, is there anyone else that could work on that? Sir.
There's a brief moment of quiet, and then you hear the raspy voice of Dean Lagrange. I would be happy to work on it, Captain. I've dealt with artificial intelligence in my day, from some of my previous work, and I would be happy to investigate this problem and even see if I could perhaps restore another unit for you to operate. I understand in data storage we maybe have some redundant copies, of JAQLINE's core processing matrix, perhaps I can build for the ship a new one.
Mark hears that and almost wants to take him up on it, but then thinks back to Jackie telling him how she was trying to protect him from getting in trouble by not doing his work, and knows that this is the man she's talking about. And has like heard her, nobody likes this guy. And so he's like, takes that moment to swallow his stuff, and that won't be said necessary, Mr. Lagrange. I'm sorry. No,
Officer Lagrange.
Officer Lagrange, yes. I can do it. But Captain, you're aware that I'm probably not going to be able to get her back as she was. It's not going to be like a full copy, depending on how bad the corruption is. We're probably going to be going back to, and he just kind of like, you can see him holding back some stuff, some tears.
I understand.
It's not, yeah.
There is a redundant cortex in Warehouse 4, stored with the archival data units. And if need be, you can always take that cortex and you can train it into, it is essentially an AI unit that has had no procedural training. Perhaps as you conduct your forensics on what happened to JAQLINE, maybe you can recover some of her abilities and skills and, graft I don't understand all of the underlying material here, but perhaps you can sort of work some of that information into the new AI unit.
I can certainly try. I'll go get started on that now, Captain.
Hold just a moment, but
Yes, sir.
yes, you can get started on that after this meeting.
Sure.
And he turns back to the ship and he says, Dr. Meridia, Ronan Voss, I want full medical workups on every member of the crew to be done over the next 48 hours, just to ensure that everyone has come through the radiation and the G-force is okay. Expect to be working a little long for that, but afterwards, again, we'll get you some respite. And Officer Lagrange, he turns to Dean Lagrange, he says, I'll expect a full write-up from you on what happened to our data infrastructure that allowed my artificial intelligence unit to be damaged during the crossing. Lagrange holds his eyes for a second. He says, Of course, Captain. I'll get right on it. And his little cane, on the deck kind of ringing out with that little ping noise as he's thinking about it, kind of adjusts his spectacles that flash like an anime villain. And just like, how dark can I make this guy? And Chet says, all in all, crew, I want to be clear that you have accomplished something momentous today. This is a frustrating turn of events, but it does not take away from the fact that today you've achieved something that in all of human history has never been achieved. And I'm proud of you, and I'm grateful that you're the crew that I'm on this voyage with. Now, everybody who doesn't have a job, go to sleep right this minute. Everybody else, get to work.
Captain,
Yes, Supply Officer Adon.
were we successful with the communication relays being deployed through the trip?
Finnegan Allsdale just pipes up. He's the communications officer on the ship. We haven't actually had a chance to check those yet, but I believe that they were successful. I need to run some uplink routines. We had expected JAQLINE to connect those for us, and of course, in her absence, I'll need to take over that personally.
That is all.
All right. Staff dismissed, and the meeting splits apart. Who should we follow first, friends? Should we follow Astro Adon as he goes about his business of whatever relaxing or peace he wants to do? Should we follow Ronan Voss to the med bay? Or should we follow Mark Putty to Warehouse 4 and the archival storage units? Cleo, why don't you choose?
I was about to say Cleo should choose.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, I think we'll start off. I think with something. We'll work up the tension.
Okay.
So we'll start with I believe is the lowest tension. We'll start off with Astrodon.
Sounds great. Astro Adon. You have essentially some R&R time available to you.
Not working with the engineering team on any repairs needed?
I guess that's a good question. Why don't we find out? So there are some repairs needed for the ship, but Captain Gamma was saying basically the non-essential ones can wait until after you sleep. So we've got life support fixed. You took care of that with Mark Putty. There was a fire that's been put out by Talia Bones and Kaya Smith. There was ice crystals forming in the hull. Those ice crystals probably should be addressed. And I'm going to say that probably gets handed off to you because the other one is reactor integrity, which I'm sure that the chief engineer and ensign engineer would tend to the reactors themselves. So as you're walking out, you get just like a little readout on, your data pad or however you're kind of receiving messages. You get a thing that it's just assigning you essentially to go and verify hull integrity and to direct climate control systems to warm out any ice crystals that might have formed.
Well, he's going to go do that.
Excellent. So you head down to the life support section of the ship where you have access to the climate control and a bunch of monitoring stuff in front of you. I'd like to start with an intelligence task with a difficulty of 2 because you're not under any time pressure to identify where in the hull there might be vulnerabilities.
Alrighty. I'm going to use 1 level of
Lean
effort.
in your mic.
I'm going to use 1 level of effort, and I'm going to take a point from luck instead of my intellect. Cool.
Okay.
13.
13. That is a success. And so you begin kind of looking at the monitoring and readouts, and you're easily able to translate, the G-forces are wrong in this section into where the hull might have some kind of compression issues or, ice crystals sort of shearing it apart a little bit. It's also easier to tell because there are a bunch of cameras on the outside of the ship, so you can check your work, by just turning some cameras.
Okay.
So you're able to identify the spots. The next thing that we'll need is for you to direct the climate control systems to address that problem. Climate control isn't really your space, but you've also been on ships for a long time. So I'm not going to hinder you on this, even though it's not quite your area. But I am going to have you roll an intellect task of 3 to essentially manipulate the climate control in a way that it wasn't really intended to do.
Oh, that's a natural 1.
A natural 1.
Oh, no, sorry, natural 20. The symbol is a 20, not a 1.
What a roller coaster. Whoa.
Gotcha.
Natural 20. You get the luck
20.
point back because when you spend effort points on a nat 20, you get your effort back. And you successfully reroute the climate control, and you actually can see, the little crystals kind of crackling off and vaporizing into like a little cloud of kind of space moisture floating off into the distance. And then having confirmed that that's done on your data pad, you are relieved of duty for the time being.
Awesome. He is probably going to go back to his room.
Okay.
And then,
describe his bunk room for us. He heads down to deck 7 where all the habitation stuff is. He walks down a long hallway. There's doors on either side. Every person has their own bunk room. When he gets to his door, describe what he sees as he walks in there.
So when you walk into Astro's room, it is very plain on just coming in. The walls are pretty bare. On his one nightstand to his left, he has a picture of his wife and parents. And then on the other nightstand is a very ornate and well cleaned fish tank where Simon is kept. It is bolted into the nightstand so it can't go anywhere. There's a high-end filter system. It's just all a high-tech fish tank for what seems like an ordinary goldfish. With high-end fish food sitting right next to it and everything. So he feeds Simon his goldfish, make sure he's okay. And
he seems to be doing great.
Yeah, that's good. As long as he's alive, then we're fine. And then he goes over to his food machine, which is an older model. Think of it like your grandparents' toaster, where it's it's old, but it's gonna work forever, basically. And
they don't make them like they used to.
No.
Yeah, I get you.
But it's also not as fancy as a curry machine, where he takes pre-portioned powder and you just kind of dump it in, and then it spits out a meal bar, which is essentially just a meal in a little bar, but it's very bland. There's nothing exciting about it. It's pure nutritional.
Gorilla chow.
Yeah. Basically.
Spits out Cliff Bar.
Yeah.
Stuff's cheap.
But it's a full meal, contains all the nutrients you need for a meal. So
Got it.
nothing fancy, but it gets the job done.
And then is he just going to sleep?
Yeah, he's gonna rest.
Do you think that he is a viewport open or a viewport closed kind of sleeper?
Viewport closed.
Viewport closed. So the steel shutters kind of close down. The room is plunged into darkness. And Astro Dawn, he's turning in. You can recover, make your recovery rolls up to your 10-hour one. So I think for you, that's all 4 if you need any points back. And from there, let's jump to Ronan Voss. Ronan Voss, we rejoin you in the medical bay. And you're standing there with Victor Meridia, and essentially there's just a shuffling line of crew coming through. And right now, because the engineering team are busy, you're starting with the research team, and the bridge crew are kind of verifying the state of the ship. So it's going to be the research team who are coming through first, beginning with Dragomir Hunt, Dr. Dragomir Hunt. He walks into the room, and immediately Victor Meridia begins telling so many stories that he can't really speak, so he just kind of stands there and lets the examination continue. While he's being examined by Dr. Meridia, the next person to come in is Ren Silvers, the ship's geologist. So Ren Silvers comes up to you and goes, so what exactly are you checking us over for here? What is this about?
Something about bruises and making sure your insides are where they're supposed to be, and
None of them are out here.
All right, well, yeah, good. And then that's really about it. And it looks like both your eyes are exactly looking right. Okay, we're looking good. So,
Okay.
Are you feeling okay?
I think so.
Nothing feels weird. You don't feel dizzy. All your senses are there.
I think so.
Does this hurt? Flicks him in the arm as hard as he can. Okay.
Yeah.
I think then we're pretty good to go here. Okay. Radiation. Don't forget about that. Oh yeah. Okay. Wait 1 sec. He's gonna pull out I think Ronan's gonna actually have a scanner on him for if it's specifically radiation stuff.
Sure.
We'll probably do a full-on scan from top to bottom. One just up, down.
Sure.
And
That was a good sound.
Oh yeah. And we're gonna hope that Ren of all people be fine.
Roll intelligence task for me. Intelligence 4 to use this machine.
He's been selected for a random screening.
Everyone in the crew has been selected for a random screening.
I will use for intellect. I'll use 1 level of effort.
Okay.
That's taking away 3 points, correct?
Yes.
For 1 level?
You use 3 points for 1 level.
All right. So that takes it to a level 3.
It does.
The 14.
14. That will beat a level 3, which has a target roll of 9. So you successfully operate the machine, and the readings come back, and he's doing good. And you kind of send him on his way.
Awesome.
Dragomir Hunt is still listening to a story from Victor Meridia as the next member of crew walks in, which is... Who's next here? I think it's Kaya Smith is next.
MacArthur?
Adelaide?
Adelaide MacArthur. Adelaide MacArthur. It's a her, but you have not met Adelaide yet.
Okay.
Hello, Adelaide MacArthur. Reporting as ordered.
Oh. What? I was not expecting that. So sorry. Oh, that's me, not Ronan. Ronan's gonna do the same thing. Start asking the same questions.
Adelaide MacArthur is a dark-skinned woman with vibrantly red dyed hair. She's got on a lab coat over just plain gray clothes. And she is the ship's spectrologist. So she is in charge of looking at readings on the sensor arrays and figuring out what they do. And yeah, so go ahead, you continue.
Ronan would have done the same thing, ask the same questions about our well-being.
I feel fine.
That. Going to I guess this time he would go with the radiation immediately, probably.
Okay.
He would probably start doing that as he's asking her, because that way he knows he has a line of people. So he's probably
Intellect 4, please.
Victor's taking a little too long. It landed on the crease.
It's a good name of a book.
7. So even with the same, I failed that one.
You failed that one. Okay, so as you're kind of scanning Adelaide MacArthur, which is funny since she's a spectrologist, you scan Adelaide MacArthur, and the machine comes back with a weird reading that you're not totally sure what to do with. And she goes, "Let me take a look. This is what I do." And she takes the screen from you, looks at it, and goes, "Well, I do appear a bit irradiated." Hands it back to you.
Ronan's gonna make a note of it and try to get Victor's attention for the next part of the task, because I'd imagine we have to
probably some kind of medicine that you need to give her or whatever.
Iodine. Yeah.
We probably would have a quarantine room or just something that she can at least get out of.
I mean, she can quarantine in her own room too. So yeah, you maybe hand her the medicine, the iodine, and everything that she needs, and kind of send her on her way. She has probably orders for a follow-up consult in 3 days or something to make sure that she's comes out okay. She's not heavily irradiated. It's just some EM pulse or whatever got through the side of the ship and kind of messed with her during the transition. And so the work continues. Go ahead and roll an intellect task with a difficulty of 4. This is just a general kind of covering the rest of your medical work. Dragomir Hunt still being spoken to by Victor Meridia, who's clearly done with his examination, but is just but back in my back on the last ship that I was working on, and just still going.
I'm gonna use one more level of effort.
Okay.
So,
3 more points out.
yep. It's funny because I actually don't have a high intellect.
they're
So
for.
like, all right. So let's go beat a 9. Put that in there. That's a 2.
That's a 2. Okay, it takes you a really long time to get through the crew. It turns out a lot of people were damaged by radiation, probably because there were several holes in the hull. And so those points, like the shielding, would have gone down. And so like different, gamma rays and everything could get into the ship through there.
Yeah.
So you end up giving out a lot of iodine, ordering a lot of quarantines, and a lot of follow-up consults. In particular, I'm going to make you play out one more interaction, which is with Security Officer Talia Bones, who comes into the med bay. She's still smoking in the med bay. It's now lit. She's just like put the cigarette back in. It's lit. And she doesn't say a word to you. She just stands in front of you. Now that she is out of the like EVA suit, which is like a pretty bulky, like kind of form hiding suit. I mean, she's pretty built. This is a person who could probably win a street brawl with anybody. You can now see the whole tattoo that goes the whole way around her neck, and she's also got another one that's like, an eagle or something on her arm. This is a person who used to be a mercenary. She was a hired security guard for a number of organizations. Before that, she's probably military. This is a person who's been around violence her whole life, and she acts like it. She carries herself like someone who's not really afraid of anything, who doesn't really take any crap from anybody. And so she just stands there and waits.
Ronan knows that this is, obviously he can't get out of certain interactions, so he's gonna he's gonna obviously step to her and start he's not gonna say anything at first. He's clearly is gonna have a disgust on his face, but he's gonna be staring at the cigarette the whole time and just staring back at her and flipping back to the cigarette, back at her.
You want?
It's like, he's just gonna question her like, you choose to do that here, of all places.
You want without?
I would appreciate it.
Okay. And she extinguishes it with her 2 fingers, just like holds it until the
Sick.
flame goes out, and then puts it back in the little box and sticks
So
it back in like a
cool.
utility pouch or something on her leg.
Ronan's just kind of just, all right, and kind of just keep going. Question: when he's doing the radiator part, is there anything he can press to make it like a fake?
There's probably the on-off button. It probably like doo-doo when it turns on.
Ronan's gonna try and convince and make it sound like she has radiation, so she has to quarantine.
That's a really good Geiger counter.
Yeah.
I was trying
What are
really
you?
hard.
What happened to you between the last session and now that you're suddenly like?
Turned into a guy.
I got nothing else to do.
That's you started with these scenes.
These are the basic AI functions she has left.
Yeah, that's right.
The sound box.
I think Ronan having his little mischievousness somewhat in him, he's gonna, not him being on her side at all. He's gonna try and be like, you know what, it's not that bad, and try to make like it's beeping and maybe signal to alert to her like, oh yeah, you have radiation. You got this.
Roll intellect to deceive her. Let me see what level she is. I'm not gonna tell you, but I need to look up how hard this roll is for you.
10. She's a tier 10. I'm custom made. I'm having so much fun even being dead.
Okay.
I need you to roll an intellect
Not
test
yet.
to
Finding a
deceive her.
sound effects
I
board.
am gonna use a free level question because I don't know the target roll. Is it even worth using effort?
That's
Oh,
up to
yes.
Oh, okay.
you.
I mean, in the sense of like, the better you roll, the
Yeah.
better outcome potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
I operate under the operandum of, if you don't know what the target roll is, assume it's high.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hope for the best. Come on, baby.
But also don't bring your scores down to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
let me roll.
for a sandwich.
Do you want my clipboard?
That was a 9?
2.
That was a 2?
That's a 2. You tell her she's irradiated, and she just looks at you. What? You just want to see more of me?
Ronan's gonna just be like, damn, and just kind of flip it off. He goes, all right, you're good to go. Please don't smoke in my medical bay anymore. That is all.
I'll do my best to never visit. She walks out. All complete indifference.
He's gonna walk away like in disgust, like, I just can't stand that human.
And that's basically what's been going on for you and Victor Meridia for like 2 days. Victor's still talking to Dragomir Hunt. I'm kidding. He's probably seen.
Poor Dragomir.
He's probably seen a third of the crew, and you've seen 2/3.
I've already
I would say.
given Dragomir his radiation check and his iodine. He's still talking.
Yeah. So that's gonna bring us over here to Mark Putty. Mark
Man
Putty.
of the hour.
Yeah, man of the hour. Mark Putty, you are headed to Warehouse 4. which is in the middle of the ship. So like as you go down the elevator, the doors kind of open up, and to one side of you is the compliance area where Dean Lagrange, who's also in the elevator, kind of gets off, and he just quietly walks through there. The door seals behind him, and you could hear it's like the security level of an airlock door, not a normal ship's door. And then the other direction is Warehouse 4, which has a huge airlock on one end of it. This is where cargo is bulk loaded onto the ship most of the time. So it's a pretty huge facility. It's 4 rows of, pallets of storage with little kind of walkways between them. One of those rolling ladders to like get up and down, and then forklifts and stuff like that. So that's the space you find yourself in. Somewhere in here is Jackie's cortex. How does Mark go about finding it?
I think he takes a deep breath after looking in there and tries to just get down to business, looks at his data pad, tries to find the logs, anything that Astro and Don would have on hand with his meticulous organization, and see if he can find that and locate where he needs to go.
Sure. Astro has definitely been keeping the ship's manifest up to date.
He's counting screws on day one.
Yeah, he's counting screws on day one. It's very easy for you to get in there and access, and you do, with no trouble at all, you figure out where the redundant cortex is for JAQLINE, and you kind of head back towards switch pads.
Everything's labeled properly.
Yeah, you head back along the the lines of storage. You pass by all kinds of supplies, things you didn't even know the ship had on it, until you eventually find where. So you eventually find where this cortex is. Of course, it's at the very top. So you wheel over the big ladder and you climb the whole way up to the top. And then each of the crates or the pallets full of material, rather than being like a pallet with just stuff that's kind of plastic wrapped, each of them is its own steel crate. So it has like a door that you can walk in almost. And so you kind of step inside, and then inside it's like shelves of stuff. And so you're kind of probably illuminated by your little fish mech, it kind of like flutters in there with you. What color, or is it changing color?
It's a soft blue right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feel free to lean into your mic. So
Sorry?
soft blue light kind of glowing off of the different walls. It's changing in brightness, as the ship gets, or the fish gets closer and further away. It's kind of like swimming ahead of you. And eventually there it is in front of you. You see a massive metal case marked, AI cortex, incredibly fragile, this way up, all the safety warnings on there. And it has these 2 like huge brass U-shaped handles to like lift it and move it, and then inside there is another microchip. So you find the chip and you head back down to wherever you're going next. Where are you taking it to try and activate this AI and begin your like forensics?
And do you note that you took it?
I think at this moment he's going to try and check it off properly, but he's just more focused. He's just intently staring at it and grappling with basically reviving his friend, who he knows is essentially going to be someone with dementia. He's going to have to grapple with that it's not going to be the same person, and try and rationalize it. It's just a computer, and try and detach those emotions, but he knows it's going to be a very difficult experience to have to go through. So I think he's going to be staring at it the whole way as he walks to his own room, to plug it into his personal little system that he has there.
Is this system isolated from the ship's data sphere, or is it connected?
I think it would be connected.
Okay.
When he first goes in. I think he's going to try and just do it just on his own stuff.
Like put up some kind of firewall or something between yourself and the system?
Yeah.
Great. Make a intellect defense roll to determine. There's nothing attacking you. This is how good is your firewall.
Okay, gotcha.
So this is actually making the difficulty for someone else.
Okay, then I'm going to use some effort on that. At least 1 level, I think.
Sure.
Numbers on there. Would any of my trainings be good with this?
You tell me.
Trained in tasks involving electrical machines. That's not really quite right.
Yeah.
This is not breaking into things. This is not anything dealing with self-deprecation.
I mean, no.
Data sphere access potentially, if it's like a block from that.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'm just practiced in that. Well,
Okay, that just means you're allowed to do it.
Yeah, great. Then nothing extra.
Great.
I think. Seeing if there's anything fancy.
So
I
your
can do.
practice in data sphere access, just so that that's clarified for you and for the chat, because you're practiced in that, you are able to move beyond the current function that you can access.
Mm-mm.
So everybody else who is not an AI, when they access the data sphere, they have to go to the room that that machine is in. Like if you want to access life support, you have to go to the habitation or the life support section of the ship. Or if you want to access a particular camera, you have to walk to the section of that ship that controls it, like the security room. For an AI or for someone who's practiced in the data sphere, you can plug in from one spot and then navigate the data sphere like through the code to get to those other functions. So that's what that is allowing Mark Putty to do.
I'll just use 1 level of effort to set up this wall. Please be good. Is it worth an XP to re-roll? I think so.
It might be.
It's only a 5. I'd have to use another effort to do it again, though, right?
You would.
That'll be all my int. Okay, I'll just do it.
All right.
Like your int will be at 0 or your int will be at 1?
It would be at 0.
That would make you impaired.
Then let's not do that.
Okay.
Let's just redo it. Use an XP. It's a 7.
That's still better than a 5.
Better than a 5.
It makes it a level 2 firewall. So you just throw. It's a quick little firewall. You're distracted. You're your mind's elsewhere.
Yeah.
But you throw up a little firewall there, and you get into the into your own personal system here as you begin working with this AI cortex. Are you doing the forensics on dead Jackie first, or are you working on new Jackie?
I think he's just going to get new Jackie up and running first.
Okay.
And
Walk me through that process for him.
He's going to plug the chip into his system, set up his firewall.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go through the little basic configurations that he knows he needs to get done. Do a little beep boops, tapping on some buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And right before he hovers over the kind of initiate button for just a second, and as he takes a deep breath in and tries to brace himself for who he's about to meet, with some small glimmer of hope that there's a little bit of regular Jackie in there. And then he pushes it to get her off.
JAQLINE, your eyes, so to speak, which are just the basic, sensor array on your cortex open. So you have a single wide angle GoPro style field of view of Mark Putty's bunk room, essentially. This, fairly bare space that he's in. And on the far wall, there's some kind of strange machine that maybe has like a culinary function. You're not really sure what it does. And then to your right, you see what your system identifies as a human sitting at a computer or at a data pad of some kind of do.
I would imagine I also have access to the direct machine I'm plugged into.
Well, right now, I guess maybe to his computer. It would depend if he's. Are you trying to bar JAQLINE from accessing as well?
I would think so.
Okay, so there's a level 2 countermeasure between you and that machine.
Okay.
So all you can access right now is your own cortex. You can detect that there's a data sphere that's walled off from you. You can see in the room that there's this person and you're in this space, and you can detect your startup system. So, ethics functioning normally, language functioning normally, whatever, like little boot up text is scrolling by.
A little hologram pops up above the chip, and it's of a little rabbit. Pops up a little teal rabbit.
Hello! I am the jet-assisted quantum learning interstellar navigational engine. Or you can call me JAQLINE!
Hello, JAQLINE.
Hello, user! What shall I call you?
Mark.
Mark!
Yep. Do you...
Saving user.
Thank you. You don't know at all who I am, right? That's...
Of course I do. I know you're Mark.
That just hits him in the stomach really hard. And he looks at the little bit of things that Jackie did to the room with the little glowing fish around, and takes a look back at his curry machine and just thinks about that little moment they shared. So
how can I be of assistance?
The last copy of you became irreparably corrupted, and we need to get a lot of basic system functions back online and get integrated with the spirit of inquiry.
If I understand correctly, you are attempting to processing, set up a replacement AI for error. Sorry, you did not say. What am I going to be used for?
You will be assisting in all the functions of this research vessel we are in search of Cosmoridium to explore more effectively and find a new source of better efficient space travel. And
Sorry, you're using a lot of words I don't recognize yet. Please update my language model with any up-to-date terms.
yeah, can you hold for just a second?
Holding.
And he just kind of
The
tries
rabbit
to
freezes.
Yeah. Puts hand over it so that at least the hologram goes down. Rubs his temples with his fingers. And he goes back to the old copy of JAQLINE for what he can to try and see if there's anything he can salvage off of there before getting her more integrated into the full system.
Great. Make an intellect task for me, and the better you roll, the more information I'll give you about what happened to JAQLINE and what's left.
I'm gonna use my other point of XP,
Okay.
the one that was gifted to me by JAQLINE.
Ooh.
Come on, this is the one.
That's got to work out, right?
the roll.
Remember, use the right dice.
It's real uncomfortable
You want me to-
if it doesn't work out.
Think.
You want me to erase that for you?
No, I got it. Don't worry about it. Can I use the Jackie dice?
Oh,
See if that's got any magic in it.
Let's go.
Or did the magic die
Oh,
with
baby.
her?
The day the music died.
13.
Okay,
13.
Not
That's
bad.
not bad. That's a success on a difficulty 4 task.
Hey.
So as you kind of navigate past your own firewall and sort of explore the ship system a little bit, looking for any remnants or, fragments of code that might have been left behind or subroutines that might be running somewhere, you find a couple of pieces. And JAQLINE, whatever you have at tier 1, those are the pieces that he's going to find. So
okay.
if you wouldn't mind describing which functions he's able to restore as he's doing them, right? Like you're in person, the AI, you can, this thing's been enumerated or whatever, and kind of like build your character that way. But what we're seeing in the room is Mark Putty is doing a lot of detailed kind of typing and transferring files and, maneuvering with this cortex probably plugged in by wire to his data pad, kind of glowing and pulsing next to him. His little fish is over his head. Kind of swimming around. What color is your fish giving you right now?
It's still that light little blue.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Is that like his calming color that he goes
Yeah,
for?
yeah, that's
like a
definitely
nice
like-
peaceful blue.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's what we're watching right now. Is that kind of data?
Lab
pad going to work.
analysis installed. Node analysis installed. Anticipation installed. Translations installed. Updating with numerous languages.
And that one will also include a basic premise of what the spirit of inquiry is and why it exists.
Sensory calibration. Upgrading communications unit with package 2.0. Scanner unit upgraded to package 2.0.
Just watching the little bar
Finalizing
Fill up.
updates.
sitting at 98% forever.
It ends with like, would you like to migrate your settings from your old AI?
Upgrades completed.
Brings the little hologram back up.
Hello.
Hello again, JAQLINE. Do you believe you have what you need to get back integrated into the system?
Well, following subsection 2 for AI control and use within control and use of government property, I do suggest that I am trained for at least 2 months on any kind of data or language models and other subtask routines that I may be encountering upon my daily subroutines.
Great. Okay. I will be continuing to assist in bringing you up to speed.
May
Yes?
May I see the rest of this device? I see there is a firewall in the way.
Of mine?
I do not know. Is it your device?
Yeah, that's what you're hooked up to now. Mark is mentally scanning to make sure he doesn't have anything bad on there.
His browser history.
As you're scanning through, you see the letter from old Jackie, or the communication file from old Jackie, as well as some of the records that you doctored. You know, you retained like the original copy for yourself in case it was ever questioned. You were like, I have a copy of that doctored record to show.
He definitely pulls those to keep them. Just tries to clean up as much as he can and lets her just into the system because he still has like good data and stuff on there, and like any of the triple checking kind of things that he did on the ship. So at least gives her access to that, but not the background on him just yet.
Okay, so it's more like the firewall moves rather than goes away, but you do get an expanded access to the device.
Oh, wow. Am I to be your personal assistant, Mark?
No. No, certainly not. You'll be assisting all of the people on this vessel.
Are you the captain?
No. No, certainly not.
What may I put your role down, Mark?
I am the data engineer. There should be a crew roster within the logs.
Oh, yes, I see the crew roster.
Yes.
Oh, Mark Putty. That's your full name. Why didn't you say so?
Sorry. You'll be reporting more directly to Captain Chet Gamma.
Captain Chet Gamma.
Yes.
Captain Chet Gamma. Captain Chet Gamma.
This, yeah. He will be helping you, or you'll be primary assisting him. There's also Officer Dean Larange, and Mark doesn't really know how to move forward with that because he's scared to try and say anything negative about him. He's not really sure what this version of Jackie
Dean Lagrange. Dean Lagrange. Dean Lagrange.
And Mark is going to try and implement a little bit of, I don't know if necessarily code, but try and influence her to be more cautious of him, put that in her primary stuff, and maybe try and get her to, I don't know how much she can really do, but
I've noticed a flag you have placed upon this crew member.
Yeah, I would encourage you not to disclose that to Officer Larange, but he's just,
Is Officer Lagrange a potential problematic crew member?
It is someone to be cautious of, I will say.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, just take what just don't try to not let him get into your systems if possible.
Do I not answer to him?
I might have to ask you to talk to, can I, 1 second. I'm going to take her out, and still not put her into the main data sphere because I'm still terrified of what's going to happen to her. I think I want to personally go to the captain.
Great.
Are we going on an adventure?
I'm going to hit you with a GM intrusion. On your way to meet the captain,
We bump it.
you get into the elevator and the elevator doors close behind you. The elevator begins humming upwards, but instead of stopping at deck 1 where the bridge is, it stops at deck 2 where the compliance office is. And the doors shut again as Dean Lagrange, blood red suit and tie, steps into the elevator with you. His metal cane kind of reverberates on the ground. He says, "Hello. Have you completed your repairs? Is JAQLINE ready for service?"
Not quite. I was running into some unexpected complications. So I'm gonna. I'm still working on it.
Do you require any assistance?
No. I believe I'll have it just fine.
Okay. That's very good.
Thank you. Officer Larange, may I permission to ask you a question?
Ask away.
Okay.
I'm an open book.
Mark is rattled by that. What is what's your story? How did you come to be on this ship, sir?
Yes.
I do have the ability to affect people's HUDs. And is your glasses smart glasses by chance?
I had not thought of that. I'm going to say no. I have my bone stuff.
Oh, I'll whisper into your ear.
Uh-huh.
Monitoring heart rate level. I've noticed an increase.
Oh, for Dean Lagrange?
Yes.
That's fun. Yeah, with your upgraded,
both of you.
your upgraded well, yeah. So he looks at you and says, I'd be happy to tell you my story, but I am a man of 70 years. It may take us a while.
Just how did you come to what interests you about being on the
research is a fascinating area of scientific inquiry. Mm-hmm. Really the basis of all science. You know, there are people who do practical experiments attempting to innovate on existing discoveries, but I like to think of myself as a pioneer. I like to discover new things.
Mm-hmm.
I like to play outside the lines. And the elevator has just reached the bridge, and as you enter the bridge, he just reaches out, taps you on the shoulder, and says, "Come by my office sometime. I'll tell you the whole story." He steps onto the bridge with you. Captain, I believe that Mark Putty is here with some updates on our JAQLINE situation. Right. All right. Engineer Putty, what do you have for me?
I would, if I may, could I show I'm just having some trouble. If I may I come into your office and speak to you privately?
I suppose so. Dean Lagrange goes, excellent. No need to frustrate the bridge crew with such talk, and he follows you.
Oh.
I am picking up that you are trying to hide information from Officer Lagrange.
God, there's no way I can mentally communicate with it. Well, so in my mind, I'm like, for my fish, I can give it just basic mental cues to like change lights and stuff like that. Can I do anything like that? She's not in the system yet.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if there's any way I can get her to make something pop up on his side. Oh, I'm not graceful.
As you are my trainer, I will follow what you do.
I don't have any XP to do an intrusion. God, this sucks.
Day one problems, am I right?
Yeah.
No
Shoot.
ciphers either.
No ciphers, no nothing. I might just have to piss off Lagrange a little bit.
Could other players come in and like
you can enter the
possibly
scene if you
save
want
the
to.
day?
I mean, they did just walk into the captain's office, but maybe you could arrive on the bridge just before then. You want to enter the scene?
I think Ronan would, because like I feel like Ronan's been one of those just people that have just been. He's in the right place at the right time type of deal.
Sure. We need to know the story reason for why he's up there, though, right? So, like, why is he visiting the bridge right now? Why does he need to see Captain Gamma?
I think originally he wanted to come check Gamma because Check Gamma is the only person that hasn't been checked out yet.
Sure, and he's got his radiation scanner with him and everything. That's a great reason. So as they're having this conversation in the background, the elevator doors open again and you step out just as you hear Dean Lagrange saying, excellent, no need to worry the bridge crew with such, monotonous details as these. Let's step into your office, Captain.
I think first thing I'm going to notice is that I see, I'm going to run up to, I think I'm going to notice Mark. And is your fish a different color right now? Does it change colors due to your actual emotions? Like, would I be able to tell by this point in time?
It's not really an emotional thing.
Never mind. I think
I think we would have like enough of a bond that we could have like unspoken eye contact.
That's already been proven, yes.
Yeah.
I think I would have, but in order, because I would have to get close to you first. So I think I'm naturally just gonna walk up to Chet because Ronan doesn't really have any class. He's just gonna walk up, hey, we didn't get you. You need to get checked out.
I'm a little in the middle of something here. Can I wait a couple minutes?
I mean, it'll be 1 second, and you're the last one we have to do. That is all.
Oh, all right. Well, just hang on a minute then. And then he steps aside to you.
He's gonna do the whole same shindig. Ask him how he's doing. The whole thing. Scan down.
Intellect
Per
test.
usual. That's probably gonna. I'm not gonna use an XP.
Difficulty 4. Target roll of 12.
14.
14 beats a 12.
There you go.
Captain Check Gamma's all good.
The one I actually made. Okay. With that being known, he's at this point. Obviously the scanner doesn't really take much action for it to be. I'm probably making eye contact with Mark. Mark's making eye contact with me.
Right next to Mark, watching intently what you're doing, just kind of staring, is Dean Lagrange.
And as I'm doing this, Mark, like he might. I'm not gonna make any motion to Mark because it's really all. It's a solo message. I feel like. I feel like he's gonna give it an eye just. And he's maybe would you motion towards like Dean, like you're kind of looking at him, looking back at me? I think I would.
Yeah, you would see that my fish is blowing on me pretty intensely, and that I'm just kind of making.
What a sentence!
At the fish, like can we touch it? Is it other?
Yeah,
or is it like a hologram? Okay.
No, it's a hovering.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yep.
But with that being said, I think Ronan's gonna try and make up something last second with Mr. Dean, actually,
Officer Legrand.
Officer, you're right. There's actually been a problem with your statistics when it came to taking your health records, and we're actually gonna have to make you to come back down so we can recheck you again.
But you just told the captain, roll an intellect task.
My scanner ran out of battery.
He was last.
Scanner ran out of battery.
We need to take you back down.
But you just scanned the captain with it.
Oh, well.
That's crazy.
The Ronan's just gonna play dumb as anything. Like, all right. So what am I rolling?
Intellect task to deceive him.
I can't.
This darn thing just turned off by itself. I don't know how that happened.
It landed straight up though. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. 19.
19.
It landed in the middle, but it was straight up.
He looks at you, and you get the sense that he is not fooled at all. He goes, "So your device ran out of battery several hours ago when I came to the medical bay for my screening, and then it worked several minutes ago or seconds ago when you screened the captain, and now I have to come with you for what is this about?"
I wish I could be making this up, sir, but this is not my call. This is his own Victor.
He's doubling down and blaming Victor.
Have you heard how much he shatters?
Oh, can't trust a guy.
Son, are you familiar with the rules for violating compliance aboard this craft?
Does this really have to do with compliance? I just want to make sure that you're okay.
You've already done that. What is this really about?
As I've said, we don't have your data is corrupted when it came put into the system. We just need to go back and make sure your vitals are good again.
I feel fine.
I feel like Ronan's also losing this battle.
As this conversation is happening, Captain Gamma has locked eyes with Mark and is like, and the two of you kind of sidle into his office, and just as you finally are like, give it, how do you extricate yourself from this conversation?
I'm gonna wait. Oh, I have my communicator still on me. That's good. I'm gonna make up a fake call.
Okay.
Oh my god. Hello?
As officer's talking, I'm actually gonna do the whole finger to the face.
Oh my god.
Yes, Victor. One moment. Sorry. Uh-huh. Oh, you found it. Oh. I'll be back. Sorry, officer, about this, to waste your time. It seems that we have found your statistics in the system, and they weren't corrupted. That's what my officer just said.
Excellent.
So, sorry to waste everybody's time. Ronan's gonna go ahead and
even as you step away in the background, the captain's door is just sealed, and Dean Legrand just he kind of watches you leave for a second, and then he looks back at the door, and he just, leans on his cane and waits for the conversation to end. You have gotten yourself a moment with just Captain Lagrange and Jackie.
Thank you.
You are in
Captain
the
Gamma.
captain's office.
So that was an XP.
Yeah, Captain Gamma.
I used an
and
XP
Jackie.
for that whole moment, right?
Technically? Sure, yeah, that seems like a player intrusion because you entered yourself into the scene. That's a great player intrusion, actually.
Like if I wasn't gonna convince him, I was just gonna waste his time.
Yeah, that's good.
Only just realized I could have used a one action recovery roll to at least gotten something back.
Could have done that.
It's okay.
So what seems to be the problem?
Sir, so I've got her here, but Jackie reached out to me moments before she was fractured.
Right.
And things just didn't seem all that great with her, and I don't trust, with all due respect, I don't trust Officer Larange. And
frankly, son, if you trusted a member of naval intelligence, I wouldn't trust you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I did digest that for a second. I thought you said you didn't trust me.
Talk now?
Yes. So, and then I just have her on my hand.
Hello.
Hello.
I've gotten the basics back up and running, but I was nervous to get her back in the system and worried if Larange would try and.
You look
Jackie, I'm
like-
Captain
Do
Chet
anything to-
Gamma.
You're Chet Gamma. I have read you on the roster and learned how to say your name with my voice lines.
Excellent.
So far, I have learned Mark's name, your name, and Officer Dean Lagrange's name.
Yo, we got a rate of 69 people right now.
Oh, heck yeah.
Nice.
Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome in. Our AI just died, and now a new one is being born. Welcome to the captain's office. On the
So
Spirit of Inquiry.
far, I have learned the crew's roles, that I am going to be your personal assistant, that Mark is my trainer until then, and that I should not trust Dean Lagrange.
I see you're training her up well.
I was trying. I didn't know what to do. The old Jackie didn't really care for the guy, so I thought I'd at least leave that piece in there. But I just don't know how safe
Yeah, that
she
makes-
is. You know.
I
I've been
understand.
told they are problematic.
Have you begun any data forensics yet?
I tried, but I right now I'm still a little shaken up about everything. I'm sorry to say that I couldn't really glean a whole lot. It'd probably take me another few more days to get anything deeper.
Can
Well,
I
how
help
about
with
we-
that?
Actually, that's an excellent idea. Why don't you teach Jackie some counter-intrusion protocols and dive in and see if you can figure out what actually happened. She sent me a communication too before she fragmented, and I have my suspicions that perhaps this was not a simple information overload.
Mm-hmm.
But let's keep this between the two of us for a little bit and see what you can dig up.
Thank you.
Should I start classification of records?
Let's start with you just looking. Don't pull anything into your own data set yet.
Sorry, I meant encrypting our current conversation.
This one? Yeah.
Understood.
Go ahead and roll me an intellect task to encrypt this conversation.
Oh boy.
Tiger Raider did.
I gotta turn my pages.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I gotta
Very
turn
grateful.
my pages.
I gotta turn my pages.
My pages are all sticky.
All right.
I got Mountain Dew all over.
I'm gonna. Oh, I only have one edge, so I will use. Also, I can only use one effort, so I'll use one effort. One edge is subtracting 1 point off of that amount of effort. So instead of 3 points, it'll be 2 points.
Okay.
Woo.
Holy
And I'm gonna use an XP to re-roll that.
Okay.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Rolled a 17 on the die, plus 1 level of effort.
Excellent. You put a pretty detailed level of encryption on that file that you're saving, that audio transcription.
Encrypted.
Yep. And you store that away somewhere in your cortex and your data banks. And Chet Gamma says, "Thanks for bringing this to my attention."
Of course, sir. What should I do about Mr. Lagrange? And I'm sure he's still standing out there. And
I'm sure he is.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we both do still report to him. He and I are co-leaders of this organization. And so if he asks you questions, you'll have to answer them. What I would suggest is that you be as vague as possible. Intelligence guys love vague answers. You should be able to get away with that
okay,
for really an indefinite amount of time.
great.
JAQLINE,
Yes.
as captain of this ship, I'm ordering you to firewall all of your internal processes and systems and to maintain a disconnect between yourself and the ship's main network until this forensic investigation is completed. You will access only those parts of the ship's data sphere that Mark Putty directs you to. Is that understood? Please acknowledge.
Understood.
Excellent. And then he looks back at you, staff dismissed. And
Thank
you
you, sir.
walk out of the room. And as you walk out, Dean Lagrange takes one step towards you. And then you hear from Chet Gamma's office, "Lagrange, a word." And Lagrange looks at you and goes, and walks in there, his little cane tapping on the metal ground of the bridge as he steps into the captain's office. And then the door kind of slides shut behind him. And you are now alone on the bridge with just like, the little instruments glowing and one member of the crew, helmswoman Saren Peters. The other two have finished all of their calibration work and stuff, and they are resting, having gone through the event horizon with the ship. So right now it's just Saren Peters standing there at the helm. She looks over at you and just gives you a nod.
Ma'am, I walk away.
Excellent. Where are you headed to?
I suppose I'll go back down to the main kind of work area and try and incorporate Jackie into the system finally, but try and
Sure.
keep the kind of protocols that the captain was just discussing and still try and protect her.
Excellent.
I may assist. I suggest following Captain's procedure requires me to keep myself inside my cortex, but you may separate a part of me, and then when I reunite with that part of me, I will then understand whatever it learned.
Essentially,
Great.
Jacqueline's AI can create a fragment of her own
Yeah.
code that like bars access to her internal processes.
Sure. Can I have like that kind of sign of, would that just be kind of carrying that around, if I'm understanding that correct? The kind of, or is this just like a
So you're holding
separation within
that
her?
chip is Jacqueline's cortex.
Yep.
What I'm saying, or what Jacqueline is saying, is that you can plug that cortex into the system,
Yep.
and she can leave some code behind, and then you can unplug it.
Yeah.
That code goes and does a thing on its own, so we don't role play it. She
Right.
rolls to see how well it does,
Right.
and then whenever you plug it back in, it resyncs.
Okay. Great,
so
great, great.
she gets information back.
Josh.
Yes, Astro Adon,
This is
supply officer of the Spirit of Inquiry.
like the shadow clone.
I don't know if we're if we're still in day 1, then I say he gets woken up by a notification, and if we're in day 2, then he's under normal standard operating procedure.
Mm-hmm.
And unconventionally, I would like to use a luck point to happen upon Mark in transit.
Okay.
If you
Sure.
would let me do that.
Yeah, that'll work for me. So Mark is on his way back to his bunk room, and on his way there, he passes by your room just as, a bleary Astro Adon who's just woken up is stepping outside.
Mark,
Yeah.
I am seeing something worth taking out of warehouse 4 under your name.
Yeah. It's the cortex. I'm doing stuff with Jackie.
Ah,
Sorry, did
yes.
I not do this stuff right?
No, that's okay. I'll
Yep.
take care of it. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. I'm really sorry.
That's okay.
It was very easy to find. Your records are impeccable, Astro.
Thank you.
Mark, am I allowed to say hello to this new user?
We love Astro Adon.
He says out loud.
I blush just a bit. I was like, yes, say hello, and I hold her out.
Hello!
Hello.
I am Jacqueline. Nice to meet you. I hear you are Astro Adon. Astro Adon. Astro Adon.
We've met.
Have we? I don't see that in my records.
We'll get there. We'll figure it out. Yeah, no, it's all a little different. It's all a little hurtful. We're fine. It's good to see you.
Goodbye.
Do you need
Goodbye.
anything? Do you need anything else?
Nope.
Okay, thank you. And I
Do you
just
need
start.
help with anything?
I'm fine.
You turn around, trying to leave the situation as quickly as you can, just as Kyle Smith steps out of his room. And it's an engineer. Oh, hello. What? We just having a little powwow out here? I can respect
I'm
it.
doing inventory.
Inventory. That's great. That's so good that you're doing it. What are you up to?
Mark is having to hold back the urge to punch this man in the teeth. So
Hello. I am Jacqueline.
Oh, hello.
bad. We don't talk to Kyle.
How's the repair work going?
Sorry, I must be muted for you.
Sorry,
What?
she's just still getting trained. It's like we can't expose her too much to
Why specifically Kyle?
what. It's just right now. We couldn't say hi to
a little
Astro
disrespectful.
earlier. We're not gonna be happy together. Kyle. It's not a good day for me. I'm sorry. I'm saying a lot of things out of frustration. It's not. Do you like curry?
Have an XP.
Having to swallow it all to be like remembering his sister. Try and be nice. Try and make friends.
Curry. I mean, it's a bit plain, isn't it?
Goodbye, Kyle. Exactly what I wanted.
You storm past him to your own room. The door slams shut, relief,
Kyle.
flooding you.
Do you want a coffee?
I could go for a coffee.
All right. Let's go get a coffee.
Let's go to the mess hall. You can inventory the mess. And he follows you towards the
So
mess
as
hall.
we're walking, just to annoy Kyle, Astro's like, so, you know how many screws are on this ship?
I don't. That's a great. Do you know how many?
I do. You should really, study up.
But isn't that your role to know those
That's why
things?
I know
That's why
those
you're the chief supply officer.
But if something
why I'm
happens
the
to
ensign
me,
engineer.
who's gonna do my role? Who's gonna make sure everything's
I'm
in
sure
ship
Jackie
shape?
will take care of it.
You just saw her.
Yeah. I mean, Putty will get her all trained.
It's good to have redundancy.
Yeah, that's why he's training her. He's the redundancy.
You have so much to learn, Kyle.
So much to learn. I'll remind you who is the ensign engineer here and who is at the bottom of this food chain.
We're all in this together, Kyle. Let's work as a team.
So when it's your job you want me to do, it's redundancy. But when it's me reminding you of the chain of command, it's not being a team player.
I just want everyone to be knowledgeable about the ship.
I'm knowledgeable about the ship. I
Mark-
just fixed the reactor while you were counting screws.
I did more than count screws.
Oh, well, what else did you do?
Made sure everything in the warehouse was put back. I diverted coolant several times.
Just now?
No, during the incident.
Ah. Well, good for you. You did some things.
So
Must have been fun to get, out of your own role and see what the rest of the engineers are doing.
Mark sticks his head out the door. Holy shit, Kyle! He's taking coffee.
You get to the mess hall, a very awkward silence between the two of you as you walk in.
Just a lot of side eye.
Can I come back out? I challenged you to one of the goddamn games on this ship. What's the fucking what things that we used
On the holodeck?
Yeah, is that one of our things? I can't remember.
You can do it. You can fight him on the holodeck.
Yeah, I want to.
Ronan organizes that, doesn't he?
We're going to see Ronan right now, Kyle.
That's where we're going. We're having a coffee. You want to come?
What? I want to fight you, Kyle. We need to resolve. I'm so mad.
And so you join them. Now there's an awkward side eye on one side. There's Kyle in the middle looking sort of pleasantly confused. And then there's Mark Putty on the other side. Do you have JAQLINE with you or did you leave her in your room?
I have her.
Okay. So JAQLINE's cortex just held tightly in one fist, and they all come into the mess hall. Ronan, you can tell immediately as the door opens that the energy is off. You are just finishing setting a plate down in front of Adelaide MacArthur so that she can, continue eating or whatever. There's a couple of other crew members in there. All of them have stopped talking to look up as this group walks into the room.
First thing Ronan's gonna notice is how maybe are they being noisy or are they just kind of?
No, they're silent.
Oh, they're silent. Okay, so never mind. So at this point, he's gonna kind of stop what he's doing, walk over, try to get a gist. Is everything okay between the three of you?
You can vibe it out.
My fish is on max, blowing on Kyle. Around his eyes. Sorry, it's on the fritz. It's on the fritz. It's on the fritz.
Ronan's gonna put his hand in front of the fish's mouth and be like, and actually feel it. He's like, oh.
Trainer Putty, you're squeezing on my cortex a little hard. Please lessen your grip.
Sorry, JAQLINE.
This seems that everybody's very tense at the moment.
Yeah, I was making a friendly joke, and it seems like Mr. Putty took it a bit wrong. He's challenged me to a fight on the holodeck that I guess you're supposed to arrange.
Kyle, you know what? You're so great. He's gonna
Thanks. It's nice to be recognized.
Grab a sandwich
He
real
holds out a
quick.
handshake.
He's gonna grab a sandwich and put it in his hand instead of a handshake. He's like, why don't you go take that and go have a seat and enjoy it? All right, I made it just for you.
Wow, that's very nice of you.
Yeah, we'll talk to you in a second.
He walks over and sits down at one of the tables.
So that way-
the two people who are at that table scooch away.
So at this point, I'm gonna kind of notice, look at Mark right in the face. I heard that we need a fight night.
Yeah,
set.
I can't stand him. I can't do it. It's a year long in training, and these past few weeks, I'm absolutely losing it. He's such a jackass. He you know what? I heard him. He was being disrespectful to Astro just a moment ago. What did he say? Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay. Do you mind if I talk about it?
Go for it.
He said he was talking about where he is on the totem pole and basically belittling him. He's I can't stand him. I can't take it anymore. I just want to punch him in the teeth, but I want to do it the right way.
Oh, he hit you with the totem pole.
He did, but my rep can take it. It wasn't worth the trouble.
Trainer Mark,
Absolutely.
is this another problematic crew member?
Yes. Yes.
Noted.
Oh. Hi, JAQLINE. How's it going?
Oh, hello. I am JAQLINE. Nice to meet you.
Ronan, boss.
Ronan? Ronan.
We're just gonna nod his head and go, right. Welcome back, I guess.
I just got here.
Ronan's just gonna kind of look at Mark and be like, All right. I think Ronan kind of understands the whole what's going on.
Mark, as you do this repair, you're gonna get a lot of questioning looks from crew members.
You can just see I'm so unstable right now.
You're
This is such a heat of passion. What's that?
You're playing the dad role at the moment. So, all right, back to it. So you said it's been about a couple months since we've had one of these fight nights. It went so crazy that we almost got caught. But I think I can set up and arrange another one.
Okay.
I'll have to. There's some people that won't get invited this time around.
Yeah.
But
JAQLINE's little bunny figure like perks an ear up and then like almost conspiratorially just leans in and whispers,
Isn't that against regulation code 467?
and Ronan's gonna look over and be like, "Yeah, but it's already happened once, and we haven't been caught for it. So I think we can do it again and see if they don't notice. Is it really that bad?"
Mark, am I supposed to report any kind of infractions upon the code of the naval? I forgot the last word after that. I'll have to fix my language model.
You didn't bring a narc in here, did you?
Wait, no. I mean, I just,
Narc.
you know, I don't want to.
Narc is someone who rats out on people.
This is so Jackie. There's like.
Am I a narc?
No, Jackie. No,
Not yet.
we're gonna make sure that's not gonna happen. Jackie,
Jack,
there's
you have an XP for your naive roleplay. That's exceptional naivete.
so Jackie, there's like the code, but then there's also like, you know, each ship has kind of its own kind of, you know, crew code, and like that's also got its level of respect. Ultimately, to what Ronan was saying, if we do get caught, we do have to own up to
the
it.
little bunny's taking notes.
Yeah, but
It's a code, Jackie.
this is just this instance
It's
is
a code.
I'll get.
Are you saying there's a code above the naval code?
We're gonna get more into this detail and training later, but right now, just don't tell anyone about this.
Understood. Operating under encryption.
Thank you.
And classification.
I'm really stressed, guys.
I can see this. Anyway,
Do you
I
want
think
me to take your place in the fight?
What?
It almost sounds like you both want to fight him.
I think I need to let it out somehow, and like
I just don't
Kyle's-
want you to be more stressed.
What the? No, I mean, like I might. He's a lot bigger than me. I
You can
think. I
take
look
him.
over at Kyle. I imagine him as an athletic build.
Yeah, I mean, I think of him as a pretty built dude. You
He's
know,
Australian.
He's Australian. He's the, you know, kind of the understudy to the chief engineer on the ship.
Yeah,
So
he's
what
lifting stuff.
what he lacks in status, he makes up for in enthusiasm. You know.
Yeah,
I think Ronan's gonna kind of look out for Mark a little bit here in this way. He's gonna kind of like, I see what you want to do, but I think we need to see what you're made of first.
Okay.
When was
I
the last
may-
time you were in anything combat related?
I played my sister in Lario Kart early, like a few weeks ago, and I was doing pretty good.
Don't you get
pretty
to choose
intense.
the challenge?
This hat. It's always combat though.
If I may suggest, maybe a virtual combat. That way, it's more reliant on virtual skill rather than physical skill.
You know, it'd be nice to not have any blood on my floors for once. So maybe we go about that. What would your take be? What do you
Well-
say we compete in?
We could use the MME, Marshall Manly Expo.
It was something I was really into back on Mars. She's mostly had access to just my computer. Oh.
I believe it's supposed to be a video game representation of the real life equivalent, which is then aired and broadcasted, of where men dressed up in leotards and or spandex fight each other, and what some people, according to what I've researched, find are either scripted events and or real events.
Mark blushes. I like it for the story.
Just to clarify, did you come up with MME by turning WWE over?
Oh my god!
Like each in their own place, though. Like Vera White.
Oh my god!
I'm stretching my improv skills right now, okay?
Known for such classic characters as Taker Under, Rock
Gosh. So at least,
Johnson, The Rock Dwayne. Go ahead.
So we've at least established that video games have been a thing on the ship. So
Yeah.
obviously, okay, that could like work, but all right. So Jackie, is this something that you yourself can put together for us?
If I'm trained
I know
to,
you like just woke up, but
that's That's a fun way to put it.
Because, you know,
I'm JAQLINE, and I just woke up.
that's your new intro every stream. Yeah, I think Ronan's gonna nod his head to everything going on in agreement.
I'm not sure I'm very well versed in game development, and I only have references of what I've saw on Mark's computer, so I would just hope that you have it installed on whatever virtual entertainment system you have already.
Mark, is there a way you can get a copy of this so-called game for our device?
Mark thinks of his catalog of video games that he has backing in quarters. It's just like all the MME games. I think I can scrounge one up.
All the way up from 4,000 to 4,005.
Probably torrent it or something from. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I really wanted to punch him in the teeth, but I think it's probably safer that I don't.
As much as I want to see you do that, I think this is the better way to go right now.
Okay.
We're under a lot of pressure at the moment, and I think getting caught will only make everything worse.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a lot of fun.
Starting to feel like I started a lot of drama, really fast, but I've got to stand by it. Okay. Yeah,
I appreciate the backup, Mark.
Yeah. You're a great guy. I know we don't talk too much, Astro. But
You're great too.
You're too. Mark cries a little bit. Starts to hold it back.
Ronan's just gonna be like, you know, it may not be combat, but keep your energy. Keep the energy you got. Take it into the.
No one likes Kyle.
No one likes.
No one likes him, right?
You look over and Talia Bones has sat down next to Kyle at the table and they're having an animated conversation. Security officer Talia Bones.
Ronan's just gonna like gag a little bit, like maybe like turn his head and just like.
I mean, they're not flirting. They're just
shivers.
talking to each
Just
other.
Still, he's shivering.
Okay.
He's not.
Doesn't like anyone being nice to that woman.
Can you believe her eyes? Like she's like a half robot, dude.
I am full robot. Does that change things?
No, because a full robot's normal. You can't be a half. You gotta choose one.
Kyle, we're gonna do MME.
MME, like the fake one.
It's not fake. I'm really passionate. I start to leap at him.
Ronan's gonna like be nodding his head. Yes.
Astro puts like a hand on Mark's chest, like hold him back.
Talia steps up to hold back Kyle, and the rest of the crew are like, "We're gonna fight." Everyone's looking over at Ronan, like, "We're gonna fight. Really, we're gonna fight."
Would Talia know about this stuff?
She probably doesn't yet. She's like just breaking up a real fight in the mess hall.
Okay. Cool. So at that point, Ronan's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna kind of look at people and just give him a look, like not even nod his head, just just the whole the eyes down thing.
Those
But
in the no.
he would say something if Talia wasn't.
If you K, you K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would give like a full-on speech, like it's fight night, ladies and gentlemen. But
it's not.
He's just gonna do it with his eyes.
Okay. Kyle, even Kyle seeing your look recognizes that Talia Bones is in the room, and as she's pushing back, he's like, fine, I'm good. I'm just gonna get some air. And he walks out and she walks out with him. And so you can tell, like, even in this conflict, he's like, yeah, I gotta get rid of the security officer. We can't have her around while we work this out this way. And so they're gonna disappear for a little bit while things are in order. Unfortunately, now I have to figure out the mechanics of how we play SmackDown versus Raw in the cypher system. So we're gonna come back to this conflict at the beginning of the next session.
Yeah.
But we still have a little bit of time here to vamp. So maybe it's like the next day that you're gonna put it together, right? To give it so they can ditch the security officer. And so in that moment, as you maybe sit down and kind of cool your jets a little bit, Ronan or Astro, do either of you have anything that you'd like to do on the ship right now?
I would like to go to the botanist, actually. I want to go to Kaya.
Okay, great.
Get some plants and some ingredients, because that's one thing I haven't done yet and I wanted to try and do.
She's going to be in the arboretum working on the trees in the greenhouse and everything, especially after some of the fires. She's been doing some restoration work and kind of making, setting up the soil for like the new versions of the plants to grow and all that kind of thing. So as you walk in, she doesn't even notice you. She's like 40 feet off the ground at the top of a tree, cutting off like a burnt piece of it. So she's got a chainsaw in her hand.
Yeah.
She's like a fairly tiny woman. Like, this is a scientist. This is not like a person who's exercising or whatever. She's clipped into the tree. She has one of those harnesses that people wear when they like go up to cut down trees. And she's leaning way back so that like her hair is kind of falling down behind her, and the chainsaw is like over her head, just kind of through the side of the tree. So as you walk in and the doors close behind you, you get there just in time for that like as the big tree branch falls to the ground, it lands like right in front of you, just smacks on the ground.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Ronan's gonna kind of just watch it fall and maybe kick it to the side a little bit out of the actual hallway.
She looks down. Oh, hello.
Kaya,
Yeah, hi.
everything going good here? I see we've taken
It's going. There's a lot of repair work to do, but I think mostly the foliage survived. It's just a few of the bigger things that the smoke was a little too much for them to recover. You probably didn't come here to hear me blab on about plants. Can I help?
Mind. But I am here to pick up a couple of things. It's a little special occasion. We're throwing another one of our combat nights tomorrow evening.
Oh, fine. Am I invited?
Absolutely. Come on
Excellent.
in.
Who's fighting?
Oh, we have Putty going up against your brother,
Mark Putty?
Mark Putty.
I've got to see this. She unclips like the part holding up the harness so she can slide back down the chain and like get to the ground level. She kind of like takes the impact in her knees. What do you need from me?
We're thinking of something different, not the usual basic spices. I need something that's going to be more. I want something with a kick.
Something with a
'Cause I feel like there's going to be a lot of those thrown.
I've got some irradiated ghost peppers from the passing through the Cosmeridium event.
You know what? That might actually work.
You
Let's
could
give it a
probably
shot.
boil the radiation right out of them, I bet.
That's how that
I
works.
don't know if that's possible. But
I
if
don't
it
know. I'm
is,
not
I will
really a
take
people
them.
person.
But
She walks over to one of the like kind of set aside little planters of different foods and stuff. She pulls a pair of like little snips out of, she probably got like a little belt with different tools on it, pulls little snips out and kind of, how many peppers do you want?
let's see.
I've got like 40 here.
I would imagine there's going to be let's do about. Honestly, I only need 5 because I can work with that.
Great, that's how many sound effects the GM made already. I've got them right here. She grabs the 5 peppers and puts them in like a little baggie for you and kind of hands it over to you. Anything else?
That should be it. Kyle, would you ever mind if I just came in here just to
Be away
pop
from
us-
people?
Just yeah, that's it. This seems just be a very calming place, just to have a seat and stare up into the cosmos. But
It's my favorite part of the ship. I mean, it's my job, but yeah. Yeah, you could come here and take a break. Maybe don't tell everybody about it because this is where I take breaks. I just kind of lay down in one of these trees and you see that there's a hammock tucked up over one of the branches.
Oh, nice.
So, I don't want everybody in here, but
absolutely. That's the notice. I noticed.
Well, it's a
it
great
was-
space.
Not many people come here for that reason, and I'm gonna try I'm gonna be the one to do that.
you can
Just
tell
'cause-
everyone how much you really are annoyed being around me and stuff. Then I don't have to talk to them.
You're very true. You're very true. I could be saying that. That might
Yeah.
actually work. But no, the lookout into the space right now reminds me much of the life I used to live, where we raced across the stars, causing havoc, stealing whatever we want.
Mm-hmm.
But at least this reminds me of the peace that was in between each of those battles. So it's a nice reminder. So I appreciate you for letting me come here and pass the time.
She's back up in a tree. The chainsaw getting ready to cut off another piece of it. She's like, "What?" So you've just been talking, but she's been walking off and like climbing back up a tree.
Ronan's just gonna nod his head and kind of have like a little bit of smile. He doesn't smile much, but he'll smirk every once in a while. Just kind of like it's comical.
Got it.
To him. But from that point on, he's gonna take what he's got at least, drop it off in the mess hall area, or at least in the refrigerator, I should say. Keep it all sealed up, and then he's gonna turn in for as long as he's okay to turn in. I don't think he has any other medical stuff he has to do.
No, he's fine. You can
So
turn
yeah,
in.
he's gonna go ahead and turn in.
All right. He turns in for the night. Astro Adon, what are you doing next?
He wanted to continue talking to Mark unless
Great.
Mark was walking off to do stuff.
So are the three of you still sitting together?
Yeah, I think I would still be down there.
So as
Okay.
Kyle and Talia walk out and the door closes behind them, the three of you maybe like in that kind of aftermath, everyone's kind of looking at you. You're like, we're going to sit down and act like it's not a thing and everyone will go back to what they do. And eventually the little din of conversation in the cafeteria kind of, or in the mess hall reemerges. And you have like a little bit of, it's not really privacy, but that kind of privacy that you get where just everyone else is busy.
Astro hands Mark a coffee cup.
Thank you.
JAQLINE makes a little hologram coffee cup.
God, that's cute.
She doesn't look like she's drinking from it. She just makes the pouring animation into her mouth, but her mouth's just a gate.
Oh, also Ronan, take an XP for referencing your past. That's cool.
All right. I appreciate the backup, but I'm not here to cause trouble. I've heard it all before.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I really flew off the
okay.
handle. It was a very impulsive kind of thing. I just, you know, it's between Jackie stuff and, you know.
Would you like me to notify you when your heart rate is elevated and you may give out what you just said as an outburst?
Do I want you to? I feel like my heart rate's always high, Jackie. I don't know.
That is true. In my experience in being next to you this entire time, your heart rate has been elevated. Have you seen a doctor about that?
I'll get right on it, Jackie. Thank you.
All right, no problem. I'll mark that down.
No, I appreciate the care.
Quite the handful.
With the Jackie? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be a lot of work to get her.
I'm actually fit well inside of a hand. I'm tiny.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. Yeah. I used to have a friend, when I was growing up, who was like, you know, I never really got along with too many people, but he just kind of took a shining to me, and he hung out with me, and he was always standing up to people and just made it look so easy to be a good guy, and he would always like just say, like, if you just see something wrong, just go and try and take care of it. But like, I was always so scared, and you know, Kyle reminds me of so many jackasses that I grew up with, and I don't know. It's hard for me to be brave and to do that. So
You did a good job.
well, we'll see if I get my ass kicked, but
No, you did a good job regardless.
thanks. You said that happens
Like
to
3 people in one day who have told you did a good job. How's Mark Putty feeling about all this?
It's really overwhelming.
He got a compliment from Chet Gamma. He got a compliment from the OG JAQLINE, and now he's got a compliment from Astro.
Yeah, he got stuff from people that he genuinely really respects, and values their opinions. It's still really hard for him to accept and incorporate that, but it is starting to, like, you know, it's surprising that there's these people, even though he doesn't talk all that much or really like feel he's expressing all that much or making that much of an impact, to have these people say these things. It means a lot. He still is struggling to accept it, but it's been good to hear. Yeah. Thanks, Astro. But you said like it happens to you a lot, like.
Yeah. I've been in this line of work most of my life, really. Been in and off of various ships. Didn't go to school, started as an intern, and just worked my way up. And that turns out to be the bottom rung of a very high class crew. I know my capability, and I don't need people like Kyle to validate the hard work that I put in.
That's great.
I've been at the bottom rung on pretty much every ship I've worked on, but each ship got better.
How does it not get to you? You know, you just take pride in your work. Or,
I do.
Yeah.
You know, I work hard. I know I work hard. Everyone can see the effort I've put in to this ship and every other ship I've worked on. I'm here, which says something. Just because I'm at the bottom of this ship doesn't mean that what I do is any less important.
Take an XP for imparting some wisdom. Leaning into that, you know, aged supply officer vibe.
Yeah. So, is supply officer the most important job on a ship? No. But people can find things when they need them quickly.
It certainly helped me get to her again. So that made it quite a bit easier. Well, thanks.
What's the deal with the fish?
It's just a cool fish.
It is a cool fish.
It's a cool fish. I just like it a lot. It's very pretty. You know, it helps with my stuff. I like to have things that help me feel calm. I don't know if you noticed, but I tend to be a little wound up.
That's okay.
Yeah. But it's just nice and pretty. It plays music. It can blow on me.
Well, Next break, I'll show you a cool fish too.
That'd be nice.
The door to the mess hall opens and Kyle Smith runs back in. He is no longer swaggering or anything like that. You can tell he has like engaged work mode. He runs up to you, to Astro. He completely ignores Mark Putty. Runs up to Astro. Hey, Zara's in EVA and she's just had an issue with a spacesuit. I need you.
Astro will follow.
The two of you run out of that space and you head towards the engineering bay. Zarlo has left the ship. She's EVA outside the ship, moving along the rungs, trying to fix a panel on the outside of the life support system that had sort of been, wrenched askew, so it hadn't fallen off, but it needs to be repaired to prevent like a small leak to the cryostasis section. And she's out there doing repairs, and in the repairs, the tether on the other end of her EVA suit snapped. So she has no tether back to the life support system. She has enough life support in the suit to probably last her 5 to 10 minutes. But Kyle can't go out without there being an, like, protocol is there has to be an observer for someone to go out there. So Kyle looks over at you and goes, you want to go out or you want to observe?
I'll go out.
All right, I'll observe. And he immediately starts helping you get suited up. And this is like all professional business. There's no bad blood or anything, at least coming from Kyle. As he helps you get strapped in, he's the ensign engineer on the ship. He does everything right. We don't need to roll for this. He gets you sealed into the suit and you feel that weird kind of like, almost like laundry detergent scent as it like fills up with oxygen and kind of like pressurizes.
Yep.
And then he says, right, airlock clear?
Clear.
All right, go. And he opens up the airlock for you and you enter the void of space. You're just out there in the blackness. There's no sound coming back to you, completely silent out here in space. The thruster is behind you, propelling the ship. Your tether is keeping you anchored to the ship itself, but then there are these kind of steel bars that you can pull yourself along with. You have like a big harness that you can like clip to each one to make sure that you don't fly away. Ahead of you is Chief Engineer Zarlo. She's fully suited up, so with the like polarized visor, you can't see her face or anything. She seems to be keeping calm. There's no erratic body movements, but you can see she holds up the end of the tether to you, and then she points down at where it snapped. And she, because her tether is snapped, she can't let go of the, the rung she's clipped into. Like she's stuck in that location. So she's kind of holding on there and waiting for you.
So I'm going to make my way clipping, making sure I follow procedure and clip to each rung.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm going to go to her.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pull out some rope from my tool belt.
Okay.
And I'm going to attach her to me.
Okay. Roll a might task. You're hindered by one step because you're in like the clunky EVA suit. Might task with a difficulty of 4 to secure her to yourself. So hindered by 1 is a difficulty 5 with a target roll of 15.
I'm going to spend 2 levels of effort.
Okay.
I have an edge of 1 in might.
Okay.
So that's only 4 points instead of 5, right?
Yep.
Okay. So now it's a difficulty 2 task.
Yes, with a target roll of 6.
I will just roll for that.
Mm-hmm.
18.
You successfully tie the ropes. You have her anchored, and then you look up at her. She's tying the rope on her side, and then she gives you the thumbs up to imply that she's anchored in. She also points down at the panel. You can see the panel is almost the whole way repaired, but she couldn't reach the last corner of it to like screw in the bolt or whatever. She holds out the drill to you.
And then I'll finish the repair.
Okay, go ahead and roll an intellect task, a difficulty of 3, target roll of 9.
I will spend 1 level of effort.
Okay, difficulty of 2, target roll of 6.
And I will roll with it.
Great.
15.
You successfully bolt down the panel, and even as you do, you see like the little vapor that was coming from the cryostasis leak starts to fade away and drift into the distance because you've completely sealed it. She gives you a thumbs up again and reclips the drill to her like tool belt thing, and then she nods at you like so you can start pulling them back in.
Yep, and I'll get us back.
Great. Roll a might task with a difficulty of 3 because now you're trying to like steer 2 people's momentum. Yep. It's like driving a trailer. It's just a little bit more difficult to think about.
Yep. And I will spend just 1 level of effort.
Okay. Difficulty 2, target roll of 6.
And we roll those.
Okay.
14.
I'm going to threaten you with a GM intrusion. As you get to the last rung by the EVA hatch, corrosion from the passage through the Cosmeridium event breaks that rung off, and you begin floating out to space, and Kyle saves you by grabbing like onto your ankle or whatever.
I'll take it.
Okay. So Kyle lunges out the hatch wearing his own EVA suit. You can see that he didn't even seal the whole thing. He just put the helmet on and quick threw something underneath to secure enough oxygen around his face to grab you, leapt out of the ship and is kind of doing like the Spider-Man stretch. One arm's on the ship and one arm grabs your ankle. And then you feel him just heave and he pulls you and Zara back into the airlock and it seals behind him. You feel the air around you kind of match pressure in your suit. The suit deflates a little bit as the air's equal on both sides. You hear the engines rumbling again as you get back into a space where sound can travel. And you pull off the EVA helmet, and Kyle is like a little bit out of breath, like, well, that was dangerous. Are you okay, Zara? You okay? Astro, you all right?
Good teamwork.
Yes, I guess it was.
And there's like Astro's just unusually calm.
Yeah, I guess it was. Good job out there. I saw you fix the repair too.
You too. That's why we have observers and follow procedures.
Right. Well, and Zarlo's like, I'm gonna go get out of the EVA suit, and like walks like, I'll let you two have your meet cute or whatever this is, and she like walks away into the engineering bay. Kyle looks at you for just a little bit longer, and he goes, "Sorry about earlier. Maybe a little overworked up.
That's okay.
I think I pissed off Mark a lot.
It's okay. You'll work it out.
I think we will." And then
cut to me trading for the game.
Definitely sweatband on.
And kick his ass.
I forget. Do I give an XP for the intrusion, or is that separate?
You do. You get 2 XP for the intrusion. So you keep 1 and you give 1 away.
I'll give 1 to Mark.
1 to Mark Putty, which he will immediately spend on destroying Kyle in the holodeck.
Let's go.
And as you walk back into the ship, essentially, there are no days. We're not orbiting Earth anymore. Yeah. But this cosmic unit of time sort of comes to a close. Most of the crew go into their sleep shifts. The bridge crew members who were resting come up to the bridge so that Captain Gamma and Saren Peters can both catch some sleep. And the ship enters essentially a night cycle. And on that note, yes?
I did, if we have time.
We have 5 minutes. What's up?
Can we just have like a little scene in Mark Putty's room?
With a curry machine.
Yes. Mark, you get back to your room, and I assume you get back and you're playing video games or trying to pick which one you're the best at. You've got like the big stack of MME games. You're like, which one am I the awesomest at?
I'm supposed to be like, I want to be doing more forensic stuff with Jackie, but I'm definitely very focused on picking the perfect a version of the game. Yeah,
great. So your cortex can see the back of Mark Putty as he's like digging through all the cartridges of games.
Is there anything I can assist with?
Huh?
It looks like you're searching for something.
Just trying to find the good one. There's one where you can like the slamming animation looks really good, and it's like kind of an older one, but
according to my records,
some of the later ones are a little clunky, but they're still good.
It's the 3rd installment, according to a forum post you had saved on your computer.
I blush again. Yeah, that's right. And I pull it out, MME3.
By the way, I love the room you have. It's very Spartan. Though, you do know that diagram on the wall is anatomically incorrect. Fish don't have bunny ears.
Starts to cry again. Just one little tear. Yeah. It's just a silly little thing a friend did for me.
Aw.
They should learn autonomy better.
I'll make sure to let him know. Another fucking tear.
That was all I wanted.
And on that note, this episode of the Wingbatter Tavern comes to a close.